So, it's been a while since I made a tutorial on this channel, which was why I originally made it. I wanted to make some good, quick, and simple tutorials, but I don't have much interest in that anymore. What I am interested in, though, is Plants vs. Zombies. So, around 2 or 3 years ago, I spent like a year working on a PvZ game in Scratch, and it got so big that I couldn't upload it to Scratch. But when I started that game, it was so long ago that I only just started using lists. So for most of the game's lifespan, it was a buggy mess, and the code was just fundamentally flawed. But after that, I've had further attempts. PvZ Mixed, which was just too laggy. PvZ Heroes Fan Game, which is a card game, so not very relevant. And Monsters vs. Robots, which I sort of abandoned, and then I reused it to make Animals vs. Robots, which I'm still working on. So I have a lot of experience with PvZ fan games. But my code nowadays usually looks something like this, which I'm pretty sure 99 of people can barely understand. Sometimes I even forget. So I've been thinking recently, and I want to make a tutorial series on how to make a PvZ game in a simpler way, sort of like the first one. The code would be simple and understandable, but with a few improvements that shouldn't be too hard to understand, hopefully. The goal is to make it very easy to add your own custom things, like a custom plant, custom zombie, even a custom world. I make the engine, and then everyone can make whatever they want. To do this, there'll be a lot of functions to simplify things, such as the pea shooter looking just like this. So basically, there'll be sort of a tree of functions, and most of them will probably be complicated, but some functions will be simple, and will do all of that work for you. This lets you easily create simple plants like pea shooter or sunflower, but still allows you to make more complex plants like 3-peater or split pea if you know how to use the more advanced functions. The series would likely cover about one feature per episode. Plants vs. Zombies is mechanically a very complex game, so it might take around 5 episodes just to get the base mechanics done. But after that, we can get to the fun part, adding in new features. Features can be compared to sort of like a skill tree. When you add one feature, multiple plants unlock as they are now possible, and some plants need multiple features. As an example, firing projectiles unlocks pea shooter, and adding effects like cold unlocks iceberg lettuce. Having both unlocks snow pea. Adding splash damage unlocks cherry bomb and potato mine, and adding lobbed attacks unlocks cabbage pole. If you combine effects and lobbed attacks, you can get kernel pole, and lobbed attacks with splash unlock melon pole, and all 3 of these features combined makes winter melon. After the base mechanics are in, I'll probably start doing some more art and take viewer requests on what features should be added. If you want to add a plant but don't know how, you can leave a comment. If it's possible, I'll explain, and if not, I can make a tutorial on how to code that feature. There are some things you have to decide at the start of a project, as they can form the base code, and you're hard to change after. After some thinking, I've decided that the game will use clones for plants and zombies, as that's pretty easy to code, and I'll use pen to draw pretty much everything on the screen. This might sound complex, but it isn't too hard if you know how to do it. This will make the game look a bit worse, but you can use Turbo Warp to fix it, and using pen has a lot of benefits. The main one is if you want to add a conehead zombie, instead of drawing like every costume for it with the cone and every costume with it without the cone, you can just draw the cone, and then with pen you can stamp the zombie and the cone on the same frame. There are some things that would be very hard or almost impossible to code, like Hypnoshroom makes zombies act like a plant, which is just so complex I've never actually done it in a fan game. And support plants like lily pad and coffee bean, things that you place over or under others, could be a problem, but I have ideas on how to make that work. After every tutorial, I'll probably release a project of the current progress, so you can skip the coding part and just add your own stuff if you want, but I recommend you still watch the tutorial so you know what's going on, how to use the functions, and maybe learn some code. This will start in April if people are interested, and if you have any thoughts or ideas, leave them below.